Pregame.com.
Sunday, NFL action. We've got the Detroit Lions visiting the Denver Broncos. Tim Tebow at quarterback, the second coming of the Messiah. Steven, what do you think?
Are you knocking the child of God, Tim Tebow?
I'm going to save my knocks for when we do the rants, okay, the next video. But I'm going to be professional and handicap this game as the professional sports bettor that I am. And I'm going to be on Detroit. Where are you going to be?
Detroit.
Okay.
I'm not impressed with Tim Tebow. I mean, he plays horrible for 55 minutes, and Miami gives him the game. And I give Tebow credit. He made some plays there at the end. But I think it just sets up this play. Detroit, I think, is a little underpriced here. They're on a 2-game losing streak. They're at low stock, which we talked about in our previous video. I think it's time to jump back on him. I actually hope Matthew Stafford does not play, because then you'd be looking at Sean Hill at a line of about pick'em. And Sean Hill could beat Denver, although I do think Stafford's going to play.
Yeah. I'll jump in right now. The line right now is 3 on this game. We're taping on Thursday. We both like Detroit in this game. I'm going to say don't wait on this game. You're watching the video right now. Bet it as soon as you can, because the line, if it moves off of 3, it's going to move against us. It's going to go to 3.5 once Stafford is upgraded on Friday. That's generally when they make the big upgrades. The line will go up. I like Detroit. This is a scenario, you touched on it about the stock. Detroit was the darling, okay? They started the season undefeated. People were talking about, what's the chances of Detroit, running the table, which was just ludicrous, because they're going to play Green Bay twice. Yeah. But how can you in 2 weeks go from the toast of the town to being, this is the same old Lions? Let's just look for a second and realize they came off a Monday night game 3 weeks ago. The biggest game the city of Detroit has seen since the Steelers played in the Super Bowl there a few years ago, okay? That was the biggest game that city has seen. It was almost like a Super Bowl atmosphere for that Monday night game. They won that game. They came out flat the next week. I thought they would. They did against San Francisco. But let's give San Francisco a little bit of credit. This is a team that's playing good football this season. And then last week, they lost to an Atlanta ball club that was 13-3 last year. They're not losing to 2 slouches here, and all of a sudden people are overreacting to the 2 losses. I think Detroit is a tremendous underlay in this game against Denver, and Denver is an overlay simply because of 2 words, Tim Tebow. If you look last week, they went off from a 3-point dog when that line opened up to Sunday they closed at the last minute. When Denver became a favorite on Sunday, I was able to grab Miami +1. I thought it was a hell of a bet. I did it at the last minute, so it wasn't a play that I gave out to my clients because it did it strictly when that line crossed late. And I should have won the bet. But that's how much this guy is affecting the lines. And he's not that kind of player, Steven.
Yeah. He's got a lot of mechanical flaws. He brings some intangibles to the table. What he doesn't bring is an accurate arm. And they're stepping up in class, Denver playing Detroit. Obviously, Detroit is not the undefeated type of team that they were before. They're not in that elite class, but they're certainly not as bad now as people are making. They're, I think, a 9-7 type of team, which is superior to Denver. And with this spread, figuring what Stafford's going to play, you're basically asking Detroit just to win the game. I guess Champ Bailey is going to try to take on Calvin Johnson, but Denver's defense is improved. They brought in some talent, but it's still way below average. I mean, they got some real problems, and Detroit's upgraded their defense.
Denver should get torched in the secondary in this game. The matchups in the secondary, Denver's secondary is horrible. The one matchup that does favor Denver in this, Detroit has had problems stopping the run. And let's face it, Tebow's not going to beat you with his arm. He's going to beat you with his feet. And that's the only concern that I have in this game. But when I'm handicapping a game and my biggest concern is the quarterback beating me with his feet. I'm okay with that. I'm going to go ahead and lay the 3 points here.
Well, also, Marco, no Willis McGahee, who's been their number one running back. No Sean Marino is going to start, who I actually like better than McGahee, but apparently John Fox doesn't, and I'd have to defer to his knowledge of his running back situation. And they're not stupid, Detroit, with Jim Schwartz. You know, he's a defensive guy. He was the former coordinator for many years for the Titans, a good defensive mind. They're going to be shadowing Tebow. They're not going to let Tebow beat them.
Absolutely. What do you got for a score?
I would call it Detroit 27-17.
I'm going to be in the same territory as you. I'm going to go 24-17. Just the fact that Detroit's, history-wise, they haven't been a great road team in playing on grass. Maybe slow them down a little bit. They won't put up quite as many points, but I'm going to go 24-17. Both of us like Detroit here. Lay the 3 points again. Got to emphasize, do this early. The line, if anything, is going to go up on the game as the injury reports get updated on Friday. Carry on the conversation. We're doing a new thing here with the videos. There's going to be a big mega thread in the forums where we're going to have all of the videos posted in one thread. You can just go through the thread, watch all the videos, and you can ask questions. All of the pros that are on the videos, we're going to be popping in and out of that thread. You can ask Steven a question, ask me a question, or Brian, VR, RJ. Do it. We'll be there all weekend. Anything you want, something else, maybe there's a game you want to ask a question on, the pros will be there to answer it. So check that out in the forums. We're going to be back. That wraps up our free selections with videos. We got one video to go. It's our rants of the week. That's when me and Steven get to just blow some steam off our chest, and I'll give you a hint. Mine has something to do with the last video. We'll be back with Rants of the Week.